I'm about to meet up with one of the best filmmakers that I know in this freelance video game. Amazing music video maker, Anastas. And he's got a sick spot right by the airport here. Let's see what up. Yo, what up?
How's it going, man?
Vlogging the intro.
Oh man, let's go.
Yo, look at who it is.
Been years.
Dude, how's
How
it
you
going?
doing, bro? How you doing, man?
Good, man.
You
Good to see you.
What's up,
Look,
vlog?
there he is in the
What
flesh.
up?
Look at that.
Welcome, man.
This is the studio, eh?
This is the studio, bro.
So we're gonna see subtle cinematics for the first time.
Yes, sir.
Well, I am.
Follow me this way. It's a little grungy in here, but
All right, let's check it out. Whoa! So you can film in here.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Owner's pretty chill with it.
Whoa.
They rent out like all these spots for other people's like charter planes and stuff like that.
That's incredible.
It's pretty cool, man. Yeah. So like you can actually go in, like there's an entrance over there too. So if we park on the other side, we like literally walk past this pretty much every day.
This is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Trash when we first got it. It was just so old and gross. So
Yeah.
you had to spend some time.
This is a score, man.
Yeah. It's kind of like gear laying around everywhere, but
Right on.
check it out.
Subtle cinematics.
Yes, sir.
What's up, man? How you doing? Yo. Good. You just gaming? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Hey, Dyson. I'm Joshua, man. This is sweet. For the first time, I get to actually see it
Yeah, man.
instead of just seeing it on the social media.
I know, right?
Dope, man.
Sweet, dude.
Nice view.
Yeah, dude, we get like a really cool sunset every night out of here. This is Kyle's whiteboard.
Oh, that's
Done all
sick.
this stuff on the
Right
wall.
on.
Put RGB lights like literally everywhere. Got
Yeah,
Xbox
dude.
One, PS4.
All those Gorilla Pods. So many batteries.
Charging station, batteries, keep everything nice and organized.
This is incredible.
Yeah, man. Pretty sick. I want to add another shelf though. Like do something right here, put some like floating shelves or something. But
Yeah, man.
I mean, we used up all the space.
Is this what I think it is? This is the sexy.
300D.
Oh man.
We have two. So that's Dyson's. Then we got one too.
Oh, those lights are incredible. This is so cool, man. I've seen this on the internet so many times, but now I'm actually visiting it in person. Subtle cinematics. You gotta check it out. These boys are killing it, man. They make incredible videos. I look up to them a lot, for sure.
Thanks, bro.
And Anastas made my band a music video years ago.
Years ago, and that's when we first met.
There ain't no going back. Ain't got no time in life to waste on the stress. Ain't got no money to give a man. There ain't no going back. Ain't no going back, no, no.
And that's when I was like, maybe I'll get into video. I think it's pretty cool. I saw you like pull out all your gear and
Yeah.
it's kind of got me going, man. That's
Yeah,
so
man.
sick, dude. This is so fucking rad, man.
So dope, bro.
Fuck yeah. Yo, what's up? How you guys doing? I'm here with my boy. I'll let these boys introduce themselves here.
Anastas, Rosa Production, co-founder of Subtle Cinematics.
I'm Dyson, 99 Films, and employee of Subtle Cinematics.
So I'm here in Regina, Saskatchewan at the Subtle Cinematics studio. It's awesome, man. They've been giving me a tour. We've just been talking a little bit about the business. And we actually got into this interesting subject of conversation. And what that is we talked about film school. Now, all three of us work for a living as videographers, editors, and in the film industry. And not one of us has actually been to film school. So, I mean, we wanted to talk a little bit about the pros and cons. If you're considering going to film school, what you could think about, consider some of these variables.
I mean, I'm against it.
Yeah?
Straight up. Now, why? I mean, here in Regina, I'm sure it's like, what, 30, 40 grand for a degree? For a film degree?
Oh man.
What'd you say?
I think the highest tuition in Canada is at the University of Regina.
Okay, so probably a bad example,
Yeah.
but I mean, even in Vancouver, man, it's like pretty expensive out there. I mean, for that price, man, you may as well just go cop your gear and start shooting. I mean, that's what I did. Like, I took my GoPro Hero 3 5 years ago and just shot car videos, and then it just kept evolving from there. I just kept shooting and getting field time and documenting like everything I was doing, and I just got so much field work. It's to the point where like when I was like 3 years into filming pretty much like all the time, like I already was like so much further ahead than people like in film school, in my opinion at least. Like I don't think that knowing like I hear, I mean, I've never gone to film school obviously, but like I always hear that like the first year or two is like more so like the theory and like kind of like basic camera settings and stuff. Now you don't even really touch a camera till like third or fourth year. So it's like by the time people get into their third year, like they're just starting to get into like touching a camera and filming stuff. And I don't know, knowing about like the theory of film doesn't pay the bills.
Yeah, that's true.
Doesn't make you money. Like I don't know.
I guess we were talking a little bit about like being thrown into the fire. Like I know
Yeah.
from my experience,
100%.
I've had some experiences where like I do not know what I'm doing, but the client's got money. They want, say, real estate. They want a house film.
Yeah.
They're throwing me in there. Can you guys maybe tell me a little bit of your experiences from being thrown into the fire, unexperienced, and how that might have benefited you in some way?
Yeah, I mean, for me specifically, like my very first job was at a marketing company, and I had shot 2 videos total my whole entire life. The first video I got him to kind of critique a little bit. So the first day of my new job, I was asked to film a video with a camera that wasn't even mine. I was using the company's camera, which was like a GH4, and I had no idea how to like get around the menus. I knew a little bit, mainly just from YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
That was like my biggest teaching source, and that's kind of how I grew so quickly with video, was because basically every single hour I would have spent at like film school or for something like that, I was doing that on YouTube. So I was filming up, I was searching up, what are different frame rates, what are my shutter speeds, what should all this stuff be at, and just having that basic knowledge from YouTube itself was like huge. But I was like thrown right in the fire, not knowing the gear whatsoever. It was a client shoot, so it was a paid shoot too. So it was just kind of like one of those things where like once you're thrown in the fire, you have to succeed, because if you don't, you're just gonna fall. But then if you don't, those are the times when you take those learning opportunities, where you learn from your mistakes, and if it doesn't go well, at least you know that like what to do better on the next one.
Yeah.
So I think for me, like just being thrown into the fire really pushes you to your limits pretty much. To the
Yeah,
point
man,
where
I feel you.
Right? It pushes
Even
you to
learning from your
limits.
mistakes, I want to make sure my mic's on because I like to forget that. Oh yeah, it is on. Cool.
Sick.
I did that the other day.
Ooh, thank
Like
God.
shot some ball-in footage, and I was like, I even put that in my videos, like travel tips. I was like, here's another tip for you: remember to turn the mic on.
Yeah.
100%.
Sorry for
Yeah.
the interruption there.
No, it's all good. But yeah, I think being thrown in the fire, you just learn so much because you're forced to be doing it, right?
Yeah.
And whereas, like, if you're not doing it, you're kind of thinking about it. You're like, oh, maybe this could go wrong, this could go right. Once you're thrown, you're not going to ever know the experience until you're thrown into the fire.
Yeah.
And the same thing, like, for people who have social anxiety or whatever, right? It's a lot easier for them if they slowly get into talking to more people, doing little more subtle things. So it's the exact same concept where practice makes perfect.
Growth happens in an uncomfortable place.
Exactly.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah.
Yeah. I just have a question for you guys. Like, I know for me, when I got into making videos, like, I didn't really know what camera should I get, what kind of gear should I buy, doing all these comparisons. And then using YouTube as a resource for that, I found a lot of the time I might have been, like, eluded to purchase some piece of gear because the actual YouTuber himself was endorsed by the company or some sort of thing like that. Like how do you kind of find, like, authentic information on YouTube as far as, like, purchasing gear goes?
I mean, I think it comes down to, like, even if you do buy that piece of filmmaking product that maybe Peter McKinnon is, like, saying, like, oh, the Canon, I don't know, 1DX Mark II is, like, the best camera on the market. When it's like, okay, if you buy that camera, it might not be the best on the market, but, like, you'll adapt to it. So, like, for me, like, I got into the Lumix product pretty early on. Like, the company that we used to work at started with the GH4, upgrade to the GH5. I'm like, damn, I love these cameras. I'm buying my own GH5 just because like it worked for me. It had in-body stabilization. I could mount Canon lenses to it, so it was like a cheaper lens option, and it just took like 4K 60. Like it had the camera settings that I wanted and like the color profiles that I was used to. So like I adapted to it, and now I have a Lumix S1. And I'm probably gonna buy a Lumix S1H pretty soon. So it's like I'm just so used to it. I've adapted to it, and it's like I only upgrade now if I feel like I'm like tapping out.
Yeah.
You know
I think
what I mean?
to add on to that, I think the biggest thing is when you're watching all these reviews and everything like that on YouTube, it's take everything you hear with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, these YouTubers, if they're getting paid for it, they're just trying to recommend the camera to anybody, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you do your research, if you know what kind of filmmaker you are, if you're into short films, or maybe say you're into interviews, that's the time, like, you can figure out what kind of gear you need based on the filmmaking that you do personally. And that's why for me, anytime I'm getting new gear, I'm literally probably like on YouTube like every single day searching up different gear just to figure out, okay, maybe this camera's better for me because of this reason, right?
Totally.
You know, you might hear, like, for example, like the new Canon EOS R5 shoots 8K, right? It sounds great. Everyone was excited about it, but like the overheating might be a problem.
Yeah.
So for me, as somebody who is filming a lot and not just kind of in little shorts spans, I need to find a camera that's going to be reliable for me for hours on end.
Yes.
For example, if I do a wedding, you know, I need a camera that's going to last me throughout the whole entire day rather than, you know, maybe like a couple hours of shooting. Right?
Yeah, totally.
So I think it comes down to just knowing what kind of filmmaker you are, and then taking those reviews, watching as many reviews as you can, so you can really justify, okay, this is the camera that's going to work best for me.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, there's going to be no such thing as a perfect camera, no such thing as perfect gear, right? Everything's going to have its flaws, but it's what can you work around with those flaws, or like what's going to work the best for you.
So now, assuming that some of these viewers might be introductory, they might be considering film school or going the freelance route, what would be some introductory gear on the more affordable side that you might recommend people to start with?
I mean, if you have like absolutely nothing and you have no money whatsoever, I'd say your phone. Like, your phone is a great tool to use. Like, it doesn't matter if it's an older iPhone or whatever. As long as you're creating videos and then having a concept to go along with them, so you can work on building your storylines, so that as time comes around, when you can save up enough to even just get like maybe a used T3i. Like, I mean, you started off with a T3i.
T3i, man, you can get it for what, $150 used now?
I started off with a
like
used
dirty
T3i,
used,
right?
Yeah.
So like if you really can't afford like a used T3i, your phone is good enough to just start getting some video content. So you can start learning, you know, this camera movement looks good, this camera movement
The first
sucks,
videos on my
right?
channel were shot on an iPad.
Exactly.
Which actually had some of its own benefits too, because in iMovie you can like drag and drop and resize the clips.
Yeah.
And that even in
100%.
itself was a good introductory software for me to use editing.
Exactly.
Yeah, like even like one of my like the Ruckus video, the Honda Ruckus video that I made, like, dude, that was off a T3i with like a $40 camera slider, 2 like $20 tripods from like Don's Photo or something, and then a kit lens.
What's
And
the name
it's
of
like-
that video so
It's
they
just
can
like,
check it
just if you just look up slammed Honda Ruckus, like 600,000 views, man. It's literally off a T3i, but that was because of
out?
like
An incredible video, by the way.
Thanks. So old. It was like 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe. I don't even know. But yeah, I literally just like took the bike out and just like took random shots of it, sliced it together, and over time it just like it was a hit. It's like probably like a top 3 Honda Ruckus like viewed video on YouTube, right? And it's like it just comes down to the content sometimes too. But
It's a classic case of like the bike is so cool that you
exactly, it doesn't even matter with the videos, like the quality, right? But yeah, that was off a T3i, right? Like all my car videos at the beginning, T3i.
Yeah, like I shot this Lamborghini once for that guy. I was showing you guys the footage earlier. And just because it's a Lamborghini, like it's kind of hard to make that car look bad. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
Fact.
I actually hit you up before I shot that car video. I was like so
tips,
nervous.
yeah, I
I
gave
was
you
like,
tips.
what do I do, man? This guy's coming with a Lamborghini. And you instructed me to shoot low. It's a low car, you gotta shoot those low angles.
Exactly.
He said like get someone else to drive, hang out the back of their car and have the gimbal really low. And that gave me those stylish shots, man. I appreciate that tip.
Of course, man. Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean YouTube is a great way to learn. I think
It is, yeah.
I think every single day I'm on YouTube watching videos, and if a new piece of gear comes out, that you can't afford it all, you can at least see the positives and negatives of that gear. There's lots of great comparison
Yeah,
videos
yeah.
too.
Always, yeah.
Not only that, but I recommend, like, if you are somebody that's like, do I go to film school, do I not? If I were to do it all over again and, like, start from, like, the beginning now in, like, 2019, 2020, like, if it was around this time, because, like, back when I started, bro, there was, like, my way of learning was, like, there was tutorials, but it was, like, older, like, 50-plus-year-old Lumix ambassadors that are like, this is what aperture is. I'm like, oh, fuck, this is so boring, man.
Yeah.
But now it's like you can find all this shit now. So if I were to redo it all now, if I just started getting to filmmaking now, I would skip film school altogether, and I would just invest in, like, Jacob Owens's music video guide, Parker Walbeck's full-time filmmaker guide. I mean, these are, like, literally anywhere from, like, $200 to $400 for, like, an entire guide.
Yeah.
And, like, this is, like, we're talking, like, 600 to 1,000 instructional videos for, like, under $1,000. And this teaches you camera settings, how to get business, how to get clients, how to grow a YouTube channel, how to grow your Instagram, all social medias, how to build a brand. Like, it's all there, man. And, like, half of that stuff that I just mentioned isn't even, like, talked about or even touched on in film school.
Yeah.
And, like, that's the stuff that sells. That's what's gonna, like, you know, bring the paycheck.
Yeah, that's
So-
the interesting thing I find about Vancouver Film School, a popular
Yeah.
film school in Canada, is that they don't actually teach you how to make commercials, which as a freelance videographer is probably the easiest way to introductorily get in.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that a lot of people start off on is music videos, and I believe this man next to me here has some tutorials on his YouTube
Oh,
channel
yeah.
that you can check out, as well as an online book. You maybe want to tell us about that.
Yeah, so I, like, back when I started doing YouTubing, I started by, like, actually just vlogging behind the scenes on my music video sets, so basically just breaking down in depth how I shoot them. Now, the first one that I ever did was, like, my 4th music video, so I didn't even really actually know what I was doing. I just broke it down because people locally were asking me, because, like, shooting trap videos in the prairies is a little different, especially 4 years ago. People were like, what are you doing? Who are these people? And, like how'd you get into this? So, and, like, how are you shooting it? So I was like, whatever, I'll just break it down in a video vlog. Next thing you know, it's, like, the most viewed music video behind the scenes on YouTube. But it's, like, inspired, and, like, you can check the comments too, man. Like, it's inspired so many filmmakers, like, getting into music video shooting.
And I'll
it's
put a
just,
link
like,
in that below for you
Yeah.
guys, as well as a link to their both Subtle Cinematics channel and to Anastas's YouTube
Yeah.
channel and your YouTube channel as well.
For
man.
sure, man. Yeah, like, even Dyson's done some BTS stuff and, like, tutorials for music
Yeah.
videos on his YouTube channel. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, like, educating people, and, like, I don't know, like that tutorial was literally 15 minutes, and the amount of, like, knowledge you get in just that one 15-minute video is just, like, so much. It just breaks everything down, man, for, like, just shooting the most basic music video, but, like, it's just, like, the best for, like, the first step into, like, getting into, like, music videos. And then obviously the stuff I do now, like, the behind the scenes I do now are, like, you know, we're using more expensive gear, expensive lighting, and, you know, taking a more, like, organized approach and, like, treatment towards everything. But yeah, I don't know, it's just, like, YouTube is, like, the GOAT for learning about anything, man, especially filmmaking. Like, there's so many tutorials, like, and personally, for me, I would rather sit in a coffee shop and, like, binge watch, like, 5 hours of YouTube tutorials rather than sit in a desk all day.
Oh, hell yeah, man. And
No,
the cool
thanks,
thing
man.
is like,
It's
on
free.
your way to the coffee shop,
Yeah.
your car could break down and you don't know how to fix something in it. You can pull up YouTube on your phone
Exactly.
and figure out how to fix your car as
Yeah.
well.
Google it.
I mean,
Exactly.
literally anything is on that format, and that's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing about it. And
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Actually, I heard that over 70% of the searches on YouTube are how-to.
Yeah,
Probably.
pretty much. Yeah.
There's a one channel, I think it was called, what was it called? It was like Everyday Dad, I think it was.
Yeah,
So this channel basically is a platform for people who might not have parents or who might be missing, like, a father figure, that type of thing. And this guy literally just teaches you how to do what you call basic or simple things for some people. For example, like how to change a tire.
Yeah.
It's on his YouTube channel. I think within like a week or something,
It
he
blew
grew like
Million subscribers.
million
bro.
subscribers within
Wow.
like a week.
That's
Yeah.
a really good idea.
Right? Like, just
Dude,
crazy.
But it's the most simple things, man.
Most
It's
simple
like,
things.
like, yeah, how to change a tire, how to change your oil, how to use, like, caulker. Like, dude, like, it's, like, the most basic shit that, like,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know because, like, nobody's taught them, right?
Yeah.
Crazy, man. He blew up. He's got, like,
Insane.
millions of subscribers, and he's, like, the nicest, most humble dude.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's
That's
so
probably
funny.
why, though.
Yeah,
That
true.
helps.
I mean, that
The
helps,
authentic
right?
nature,
It's like
man.
that's
100%.
a brand right there.
Yeah. Don't be a
Crazy.
douche.
Yeah, straight up.
Exactly.
I've heard that on so many YouTube channels.
Yeah, don't
Oh,
be
yeah.
a douche, man.
Yeah.
Be real with it.
I
That's
used to
it.
be a douche in my videos for sure. But it's just way better if you're authentic. I mean, like, I like to
Exactly.
travel. And I could just be grateful, like, oh, I'm in this beautiful place. I'm so grateful for how kind people are treating me, you know, and I'm just so blessed for this opportunity. It's a lot better than, like, look at me in Mexico, motherfucker! Like, you know, that's kind of just throwing it in people's faces,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
No, that's an important quality to have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, the point that we're getting at here that I'm hearing from these guys, too, is, like, you could start your own business potentially with your own camera and with very minimal gear. Maybe a shotgun mic, gimbal, maybe a small drone, a couple lenses. Lights are important. Audio and lighting is super important. You
Yeah.
know? Nothing ruins a video faster than shit audio.
Yeah, true.
yeah.
And you could
Yes.
make a couple bucks, or you could spend $40,000, $50,000 going to film school, learning some skills that probably aren't even going to be of much use to you unless you're working on big budget Hollywood films.
Yeah, true.
And
true.
most times, if you're doing that, you're probably just gonna be like a coffee boy for the first like year, maybe 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Until you have a little bit more experience and can show off. At the end of the day, like a lot of times in 2020 now, people care about the portfolio. They don't
Yeah,
care
facts.
about the degrees unless you're coming from like a top 3 school, right? So if you have an amazing portfolio, somebody I can guarantee would take you over somebody having a film degree.
Oh, that's the truth, even
Right.
from like owning a business. If I'm gonna hire someone, the best thing about this is I could barely know someone, but if I
Yeah.
see their portfolio, like I can know with confidence if I sent you guys out on a shoot,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to do quality control.
Yeah.
You're gonna produce a product that's great, and I know that. I haven't been with you guys on a shoot yet.
Yeah,
Hopefully
yeah.
we can make that happen. But
Of
I know
course,
that
yeah.
from just seeing Subtle Cinematics work and seeing Anastas's work, and it's absolutely wonderful. You guys are really
Appreciate
good at what you do.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
you're killing
Thank
it.
you.
The one thing I will say, the positive of film school is like the network.
Yeah.
100% the
Yeah, for
sure.
networking. Like a really good example, local example, is Play Creative. You heard of them?
Nope.
They're an awesome, like really crazy video company. Like they shoot like
Shoot
high end,
Those
like,
do like
cinema
government
stuff.
contracts, like SaskTel, all that kind of
big
stuff.
Okay.
big contracts,
Yeah.
and like they were all film students, all the owners, and like they all went through film school together. I'm pretty sure.
And they actually had
Sure.
one project together. And
Yeah.
That's kind of where it all started.
That's where it all started. Then they came out of film school and they're like, let's just like start a company. And like I would say they're 100% like a top like video production
Yeah.
company in Saskatchewan, like
Yeah.
province.
Wow, that's epic.
But it's like I don't think they would have met if they just like were doing their own
Yeah.
thing, like their
Yeah.
own film thing. They wouldn't have met. I guarantee.
Sounds like a
that.
good network. I think
Yeah.
another benefit too would be like the style of filmmaking you want to get involved with.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if you're very much into documentary style filmmaking, I know that there's a lot of focus on that in
yeah,
film school.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if that was a road you wanted to go, film school might be a very good place for you as well.
Totally.
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on what you want to shoot at the end of the day and what you kind of want to do
Yeah,
with video.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think there's either way you go, there's no wrong way.
No,
you can
there
end
isn't.
up wherever you need to be as long as you put in the work. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
putting in the work is the most important thing. I mean, for example, like me, I learned so much by not going to film school and networking with people. For example, this guy right here, Royal Z, I networked with him just because I knew his brother. I ended up literally being on almost all of his sets all the time, shooting behind the scenes for him, and I
Yeah.
learned so much just by doing that and networking
Yeah.
through him, like through Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah.
totally.
And we don't live in the same city. I'm visiting you guys, but yet
Right.
I've seen your work and I've seen yours
Yeah, totally.
quite a bit. And that network on social media is a great way. And like how I've hired a lot of people that work for my business and a lot of the friends that I go out and shoot with, we actually met on Instagram.
Yeah,
like we
totally.
met through
Crazy.
There you
social
go.
media.
There you
Crazy.
go.
So there's like a massive network out there
Exactly.
that just at our fingertips. And very simply too, I have this friend named Troy, like shot by Forbes. Troy Forbes, he's an amazing rapper and he does a lot of hip hop videos. He shoots with a Black Magic camera.
Okay.
And he
Yeah.
just goes out and he like 4 or 5 hours he'll shoot and just cut up a video. Like
Yeah.
he's a pretty remarkable guy. And I brought him on to work with my company. He hasn't done one job with me, but he's became one of my best friends.
Yeah. There you
And we
go,
just
man.
go
Yeah.
out and we shoot stuff and just have a good time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
totally,
100%.
man.
So it's just blessed to have those opportunities to meet people through that social network.
Yeah.
Totally,
Huge.
man. Totally. Yeah, even like through my YouTube channel, like I met like other like YouTubers that post like educational content, and it's because like we've just found each other on YouTube from just like searching up random filmmaking content, and like Mario Visions, like he's like a close homie of mine, and he lives in LA, and like we've linked up 3 times now. The first time I was in LA just doing my own thing, and we just met up for the first time because we were like connecting over Instagram a bunch. Second time we actually like did some like kind of videos together and everything. Then the third time he actually flew me out for like actual like DP work, and like I was on like bigger budget sets and like using cinema cameras, and it was just like crazy, man. It was eye
So
opening.
the guy you did the Fetty Wap shoot with?
No, that was on my own.
Oh,
I was on my
man.
own, but
That's dope.
yeah, dude.
Nice
it's just-
work.
yeah, thanks, man. But with Mario, we just shot some like an R&B artist or 2 R&B artists, but we were using his cinema cameras, and it was just like super planned out, bigger budgets, and it was just like so sick.
Yeah, that's
Very
rad,
inspiring. But it's like it all started from just like networking, right? From like us just like reaching out to each other's DMs, and look what happened. Now we have collab videos together. We have like we're homies. We talk all the time. So it's like, yeah, it's crazy, bro.
Man, speaking of
Networking's
inspiration, man, I gotta thank you. You
Of course,
inspired
man.
me to get into video. So about 4 years ago, my band was filming a music video, "Ain't No Going Back," for my band Prairie Gold, and my guitar player Scott said he's got this friend in Nassas. He's like, we gotta bring him on. So we did. He came out, he cut out this video for us. It was so much fun. And when he started bringing out the gear, I was like, wow, what's that? That looks really interesting. And it started getting my head going and started spiking my interest. So when I started to get into video, I actually consulted and asked this quite a bit, and he gave me a lot of information, and I'm always talking to you, always bugging you about gear.
No, it's nothing,
what light
man.
should I get? What lens should I get?
Yeah, man.
And he's just such a kind, humble dude. He's just
Appreciate
always
it,
willing
man.
to give advice. And now here we are in his office, and I'm
Yeah, dude.
stoked to be here and hanging out with you, man. No, I
Hell yeah,
appreciate
dude.
it. I really look up to you guys and the work that you do.
Sick,
It's
bro.
great, man. You
Yeah,
set the
man.
bar very high.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah, man. Gosh, I don't know what else.
I don't know.
Um,
Plug it.
I guess
Check out Visual by Royal Z, Subtle Cinematics,
Yes, sir. 99
Okay.
Films.
That's me.
Hell
The
yeah.
Adventures of J Tree. Thank you guys for watching. See you soon.
Peace.
Oh man, my visit is over.
Take care, man. Thanks
Visual
for
by
coming
Royal
by.
Z.
Appreciate it, dude.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming
dude.
through, bro.
Good to see you, man.
All right, take care.
I'll
safe
see you
travels.
next time. I want to shoot some BTS for you, bro.
Absolutely, man.
Let's rock it.
For sure, bro.
We gotta collaborate.
Let me know.
See you
All
soon,
right.
man.
Peace.
Peace, bro.
See you, man.
That was fucking awesome.